Okay.
Oh, bless you.
The angels are playing with us today.
Thanks, Doc.
I'll be the cameraman.
Can't
Stand it in another second. Right, I'll take it.
Thanks so much. Okay, and when you're going to participate with us as well, we'll just put the camera to the side.
All right.
Okay, welcome everybody. Right, so what is the talk about? Complementary therapy through arts. Okay. Now, usually I'm used to just getting up and giving a big speech and a whole hoo-ha about what it's about. But today I'm actually going to demonstrate it first so you know exactly what it's all about. And that's the easiest way. Okay, so if you want to take a crayon and pass around, and take paper and pass around, please. And then afterwards we'll do some talking on that. Okay, we're going to first start by playing a game. Don't all look so scared. I promise you it's not that bad.
I'm not.
If you need a chair in front of you to draw, you can. Put a chair if you want to get an extra one. You can take more than one piece of paper if you want. Get another one for you. Do you want to take that chair? Yeah. So you've got desks and everything.
I'm fine.
Okay. You've got chairs. Okay, you've got a chair there. Do you want to? Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So the aim of the game is. Do you want another chair? Do you need? Oh, a piece of paper. Do you need a chair? There we go. Okay. So the whole aim of the game is you have to keep your crayon or your pencil on the paper. You're not allowed to lift your crayon off the paper, and you're not allowed to look down at what you're drawing either. Okay? So I'm going to stand in funny positions, and I'm going to give you only 10 seconds to draw that. But I'm watching to make sure nobody's cheating here who starts drawing earlier. I'm watching. There's a forfeit. I'm joking. Okay, so how it works is I want you to just draw the outline. I'm going to demonstrate. So when I say draw the outline, if I say draw the head, the arms, the feet, whatever my leg looks like to you, and if it looks like that, that's perfectly normal. Okay? But you're going to have to do it in 10 seconds, and I will count down. Okay. Right. So, I'm going to stand in position. Okay. And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's kind of interesting. Okay, we're going to do another one. Okay, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Who looks at their paper?
The first time I did.
Okay, so that's just the first exercise. How are you feeling? A little bit nervous? A little bit happy? Thinking, what the hang did I just draw? It looks abnormal and alien to me. Okay, so the next game is, I'm going to give you time, and within a couple of seconds, you're going to have to blow up your balloons and tie them. Okay? So I'll come and give you balloons. Within a couple of seconds.
I can't blow it.
Right. And you've got to do within a certain time. Okay? And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay.
I didn't get it high.
We've got different sides. You want to cup them off you want? Okay. Okay. Right. If you need to tie your balloon, quickly tie it. That's fine, doesn't matter. Whatever size you've blown your balloon to, that's fine. Okay, you got it tight, right? Okay. Now you've got to all stand in the middle. Okay. If you come and stand together as a group. Right. And when I say go, you've got to put your balloon up in the air, and you've got to help everybody keep their balloon up in the air. If your balloon touches the ground, it's going to be on fire. So you've got to make sure it doesn't, and you stay with everybody's balloon. Okay. All right. And when I say go, you're going to have to now let your balloons on the floor, and then you've got to jump and pop them.
Oh, God.
Okay. Jump and pop your balloons. Go.
Yeah, you're right. I'm too light. One more. Who's that one? And you got away with it.
Well done, guys. Take a seat. Well done. Well done. Give yourselves a hand. Okay, so what did we just do there? This is part of complementary therapy through arts. What we basically do is, a lot of people, when they are adults, we know that there's therapy available, we know there's counseling available. We've been developing a program for over 13 years now, where we've worked with individuals from children to adults to terminally ill. We're talking quite severe backgrounds that have extreme trauma, to even just people trying to deal with stress every day of their lives. And the first thing that everybody got frustrated with is when they were going into a counseling session, they felt like a prognosis would be given about what's wrong with them and what they need to fix. Now, that would block a lot of people moving forward. Not saying therapy and counseling doesn't help you, but it's that first initial step to find out what's going on. And then on top of that, you have Pandora's box opened, so all this stuff comes out, and 12 o'clock at night, you can't phone your counsellor or your therapist at 12 o'clock at night to say, listen, some stuff's coming up here, I need to talk. So you become frustrated and start closing down and not want to work on certain things. Now with complementary therapy through arts, what it's about is we actually work on using art as a medium and other types of activities. So we use music, drama, play, and physical activities. And what the facilitator does is they actually host the activity, and you feel you're just doing a normal activity like we did now, having fun, playing. But what's happening is the facilitator is making sure certain therapeutic skills are designed and used specifically, which help you work out stuff going on in here and here. So what tends to happen is you start to problem solve and work through your own stuff. So when 12 o'clock at night comes, you can sit down and go, hang on a second, I have the tools to deal with this. I'm more than capable and intelligent enough to face my stuff. And that's what complementary therapy through arts is. What we were finding was we were having case studies where we would actually do these activities, and then some people would go, right, I know there's something better for me or greater for me. I know I'm ready to start working on myself. Where can I go? And so many people are used to being told what kinds of therapies they have to do or counseling that they have to do. Nobody has to do anything, but you start giving people things to explore what therapies work for them. So swimming might work for you, but art might not work for you, and vice versa. It's about finding how you work on yourself and knowing that you know yourself better than anybody else. No counselor, no therapist can know you more than you know yourself, and that's what it's about. So let's just go over the activity that you did today, and obviously you would do it over a longer period because it was just a demonstration for the moment, and I'll explain to you what actually happened and what came out of it. Right, first of all, if you look at what activity was pleasurable and fun and what activity was scary, from I can't pop balloons to I don't like tying balloons, to I can't draw. All those fears and everything, although they're not fears, they're just little things that we have in our gut of our tummy, making us feel a bit apprehensive towards it. Now what you actually did just in that activity is you stimulated your creative and your logic brain. In school, you grow up, you're told that you have to do maths, science, you have to do homework, routines, run, earn money, do this, do that. That's all logic brain. That's always focused on getting things done how they should be according to time schedules. The creative brain balances that, and the creative brain helps you creatively solve your problems. If we're forced into this life where we just do logic all the time and we forget to have fun and be creative and play, what happens is you start panicking. Oh my God, I've got to pay the bills, how am I going to do this? And you start having more than one heart attack going on in every second part of your body. So what you've just done now was you balanced your logic and your creative brain to not be like that anymore, but to be like that. That starts you to start calming down so you can start working out problem solving in your mind and you can listen to yourself. That's what that first activity did with the gesture drawing. I have to say well done to everybody, because everybody pushed themselves out of their limits and their personal spaces by drawing something that looks hideous, but you all laughed. That helped you with fine motor stimulation in your hands, and that is especially important for your physical health. So for instance, if you have people who can't grip or pull their hands tight together, if you've got people with arthritis, even just physical stimulation of health, that is what you were developing at the moment, which is important to do when you're younger, older, even a baby. And the last thing we did was that we called it a destructive activity. And the destructive activity helps you snap out of whatever you're going through. So if you are stressing 24/7 every day about how you're going to pay a bill, the destructive activity gets you to snap out of it, stop, breathe, send air to your body, and then you can start working through your things and you can start finding ways to get things done. So that's what you just did now, all in the space of a couple of minutes. Quite interesting, isn't it? So I'll just give you just a breakdown of what involves when we actually do a session. So we do activities, and then the facilitator then assesses artwork. Assessing artwork is, obviously I'm giving just a tiny pebble in a huge ocean of what we do, because there's other factors that we take into account. So if you just look at your pictures now, okay, and I'm just going to give you a small breakdown of one of the things we look at when we're assessing artwork. Now, if you are going through an emotional situation, some of you are aware of it, some of you aren't aware of it, it comes up into your artwork. You cannot hide it because you're vulnerably exposed on your piece of paper.
Say that again.
If you, which part?
Just the beginning bit.
About assessing artwork. When you put your feelings.
No. What you just said then.
Oh,
if you are something.
Oh, if you are
Vulnerable.
if you feel vulnerable, yes.
Oh,
if you
okay,
feel
sorry.
vulnerable, that comes out onto your paper. So, for instance, you may say, "Oh, I've dealt with that situation," but it comes out into your artwork where there's something that's being worked on at the moment. So, if you think of a 6-sided dice, one side you're confident in a certain area, say baking. But if you had to get up and do public speaking, maybe not as confident. Just things like that. So we're just going to go through looking at your artwork. You look at it yourself. I won't be looking at it, don't worry. And first of all, we look at the size of your actual drawing. Is it big? Is it small? Now that determines your level of confidence in a certain area. So again, like I said to you, you might be confident in baking, but not as confident in public speaking. And it just shows you where you're working at the moment on a certain place that you need a bit more confidence in. That's all. The color that you've used, now people always go, oh, red's anger. Ooh, stay away from red. Red's not about anger. There's many factors when we assess artwork with using red, because there's other colors that you use next to it. There's how many lines you've used with red. So we're just going to give a very basic breakdown of what you're working through at the moment. Okay, so if you used red, it's all about where you're feeling impatient about a specific situation right now. So again, you can think about it if you've used red, and also where you are passionate. Knowing where you are passionate, knowing how you actually are a very hard worker, for instance, okay? Then if you've used orange, it's about where you're learning to let go in a certain situation. If it's letting go, just being in control of something. So for instance, if I don't get there at 12 o'clock on the dot, I'm going to have a tear ball flying out of my eye here. Where you're learning to let go of things, but also where you're learning to nurture yourself. That's what orange is about. Yellow is about where you're being critical on yourself. How critical are you being on yourself? And also, what are you learning at the moment? What's coming into your life that you're learning? It could be learning to do creative writing. It could be learning to drive, walk, whatever it is. Then you've got green, which is about where are you learning to detach from certain situations. If you need to actually walk away from things, to have a bit of a breath, think things through before you make a decision. We've got blue, which is about communicating. Are you communicating clearly? Sometimes we communicate and we think we're communicating clearly, but just how are we doing that? Is it being destructive? Is it hurting us? Or is it actually constructive? Is it building our relationship with someone? We've got purples. If anybody's used any purples, it's working with your level of sensitivity at this moment. Is your body changing? Is your body changing the way you're eating certain foods? Are you walking or speaking on a mobile phone for quite some time and then your head feels a bit dizzy? It's about starting to look at your body. What are you going through shifting at the moment? So that's just to give you just a very basic indication. Now, how do we use this in a session? How we use this is basically, we don't go, oh, do you know you need to work on this and this is wrong with you? And we don't give a prognosis. But what we do is we have an idea of what support you need to help you feel safe while you deal with your stuff. I'm not going to go in and tell you, you need to go drink that water. I'm going to put that water down your throat and I'm going to swallow the water for you. And on top of that, I might as well eat the food, chew it for you, and then push it down your throat. You are more than intelligent enough to know how to do things. So what I do, or what the facilitator does, is they will just continue to have activities to make sure you feel safe. So you start going, oh, do you know what? I've been working on this thing for about 2 months and I've just had an idea come to me. Where did it come from? I have no idea. And you go, oh, that's wonderful. Great. So that's the whole thing. It's about making people feel nurtured, making people feel supported. Where can we use this? What can you do? We can use it with people based in the NHS, teaching industries, parents with children. We've had a few case studies with little children where parents have been a bit frustrated to try and obviously work out routines, working with their children. We've had people just dealing with normal day life walk in and they go, okay, yes, I'm fine, everything's cool. They can carry on with the sessions by themselves. So it covers all walks of life from all areas of your life. That's where it helps. I'm going to give you a basic case study just to show you one of the case studies and how it transformed this person's life. And I'm just so happy for this person that they were okay for me to share this. Okay, now think about from your perspective, what would you do or how would you try and solve this situation? So I had a 14-year-old young girl and she had been classed as a youth offender. She'd been taken out of her home and she'd been put into a residential care home. And the staff were really, really angry with her because of the fact that she would not listen to them. They were angry because they thought, we've gone out of our way, we're nurturing her, we're caring for her, we give her food, clothing, set up her whole bedroom, and she's so ungrateful. She would go upstairs, she would flood the complete top of that home. They'd have to constantly call in builders to fix pumps and pipes. She'd beat up staff, she'd beat up children, and she was the head of a gang as well. And at the head of the gang, obviously she would go into the community and cause a bit of trouble. So what happened in the end was they said, well, now the court had gotten involved, police had gotten involved, and they said they actually wanted to send her out of the community completely. So they called me and they said, we have a problem child here. I said, okay, right, I don't believe in problem children and I don't believe in problem people. I believe in how people are working with those individuals that is causing the problems. And we went in, and the first session we walk in, now I'm just the local art lady coming in, just doing art programs. And we walked in and she says, yo, you, obviously with different kind of language. She says, come over here and draw this for me. So I said, okay, what do you want to draw? I want to draw dead bodies. I want bones sticking. I said, cool, what we're going to do, we're going to have dead bodies piled up. We're going to have eyeballs rolling out of their heads. We're going to have trees with blood. We're going to have this. And she looks at me, she says, you're sick. Is something wrong with you? And I said, no, I love drawing. I love art. She says, okay. She's looking at me through the whole session, and we're obviously drawing together. And then she says, okay. She says, thank you, Justine. Okay, all right. I'm okay with that. So I'm not a cow anymore. I'm now Justine. So that's great. We've made a progress there. The next session, she drew a tortoise. That was a huge shift. And it just shows you how what we think we know or what we think people have to do, it has nothing to do with it at all. It's about how you facilitate that area. And yes, we do use art as a form of expression. But I didn't say anything to her. I just used certain therapeutic techniques to help get through to her. Eventually, she turned around and she said to me, why are you so cool, calm, and collective? What's wrong with you? I go, well, first of all, I was a bit nervous, standing in this place. And second of all, I'm thinking, what do I need to reframe in myself? Because obviously when you're with people, people push your buttons. They irritate you. And it's about you, because if those people are irritating you, why are they irritating you? There's something that you're needing to work on yourself. So although I was silent, I was going, right, I need to see where I've done that so I don't judge that. I need to see where I've done that so I don't judge that. And I started taking responsibility for my emotions so I could detach from the whole situation. And that's what the staff were having problems with. Detaching from the situation so they could actually focus on the person. And that was the whole situation basically. So now she wants to be the head of a place to run residential care homes, and she wants to teach staff how to work with children who've come in from different backgrounds. Now, okay, you as a staff member, you work in there and you think this child, whatever, we all, okay, now, obviously now that you've done the exercises, realizing there's things a lot more to that. Her life story was that she had been terribly abused and her mom had been raped and she was the product of the rape. Her mother used to beat her up continuously on a daily process and she'd know the process laid out basically. Her mother would try and drown her in the bath and used to bash her head in the bath and tell her how wrong she was and how stupid she was. Can you see the way she spoke to me was exactly what she had learned. The mother wasn't a bad person. The mother wasn't bad at all. In fact, the mother had just been educating learned behavior from what she had gone through. I didn't even know what the mother had gone through, but for the mother to be at that extreme emotional phase to do that to her child, then I don't know what she went through. So we started to teach people to develop empathy towards people. Not saying we say, yes, go ahead and please go pick up your gun and shoot the next person, left, right, and center, please. But it was about finding another way to actually get people to wake up and face themselves, face their emotions. And that's what complementary therapy through arts is about. Any questions? No?
Is it attached to some sort of discipline? Are you a psychologist or something like that?
I have studied in psychology and therapeutic techniques, and then through that we've just been accepted by the International Teacher College Association. And basically we're putting together a program where we've got it broken down in 3 stages. So obviously we have to have a support counsellor there as well. We call them emotional support workers, not counsellors, because the minute anyone hears counsellor, they go, I don't want to work on my stuff. So stage 1, if people want to become a facilitator, they learn to be their own case study first. So they actually learn how to draw. They learn how to draw properly. and they learn about the techniques on how to work on themselves first. So when you get irritated, when you get upset, you've got a toolbox to go in and say, oh, I can use this, oh, I can use that. And then stage 2, you actually look at yourself and you assess yourself where you were emotionally in stage 1. And you'll see how you actually change emotionally over the time. And then stage 3, obviously, you actually can do the assessments and you can actually set up support programs. If you don't have a counselling background, then obviously there's certain things that you would need to do to have at least something behind you. And we've got that set up for people who want to be able to actually do this as well. So they've got training programs and things like that. But yes, so we've just been accepted, and we're hoping to go into prisons as well and start rehabilitation programs. That we can actually set, instead of people going in and coming out, going in, coming out, get them to go in, work on their stuff, come out and go, actually, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start a life. I want to start my life. And if I change my life, I can change others. So yeah, so that's the whole program that we have set up. Does that answer the question?
Yes, but it gave me a whole heap
A
of
bit of a
questions.
long one.
I better have a bit of a conversation with you. Yeah, is there anything to read on this?
Well, at the moment we're in the beginning stages. If you are interested to know more information, you can leave your details with me, and then I have an update of where we're going. Because of the fact that it's international, there's so many loopholes that we're having to make sure, health and safety, because you're dealing with mental health, all that stuff. So I've got an update of the progress of everything at the moment, because it's government as well. They want certain things in place. So when we're actually ready to start training, then obviously we can let everybody know. So we're hoping next year to start the training, which is not it's like 3 months, what? Not even. So yeah, so we're hoping to work through the stuff. There. What else can I do? Any other questions around the case study? No?
And with those that are terminally ill, we're going the other way now,
Yeah.
you work through their issues, there may be, so that they can have a...
Yes,
and
yes,
that's another...
very good question. With the terminally ill, we had a case study where there was a person who obviously been told, they're going to be going, they had severe cancer, and the person walked in and said, I'm going to die. And I said, okay, well, either we can work through this, or you can leave a legacy. What do you want to do? And we worked through certain things. We did activities with them. A lot of them was based around art. But again, we adapted whatever she needed. She loved massage. She absolutely loved massage. So we'd set that program up that she'd have massage and what we were doing here today. Obviously, she couldn't jump up and down like you ladies all did now, but we would adapt it to her program and to what she needed. So by the time she left, she was so happy and at peace. It was the people who were left behind who, unfortunately, again, you can offer things, and whether people want to actually take the program or not is entirely up to them. But it healed a lot of relationships, a lot of people who were fighting before she left. It completely changed the whole atmosphere, which was a beautiful miracle to witness. It was amazing. Yes. We want to eventually go into, obviously, hospitals and definitely work with children and or anybody. We took this program to people who were in wheelchairs and paralyzed from their neck down, and basically they that was the best lesson I think we ever learned, because this program has been developed over 13 years. We had to alter things along the way. We couldn't just go, right, this is how we're going to do it. And we had people who were really depressed and who were just wanting to live in their wheelchairs and die, to actually opening their eyes and communicating with us, because it was getting through to the staff members. That is what it was about. And it's not that staff or people who work with individuals are not qualified. It's more the fact that they don't know what to do in the situation, because they've never had that before. So if you've got somebody who's got dementia as an example, well, you're only equipped to know so much. So then you've got to find a way to get through to them, and that's where this comes in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Another long answer.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I think we're on time now, aren't we? Yes, so if you're interested, we can go outside and just, you can leave your details over here. and then I can get in contact with you, give you more information. I know this was a bit of a quick session, but you can ask a lot more, think about it, and then we'll talk later. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.